Okay, welcome to part 2 of Adobe After Effects tutorial. In the first one I just went through the interface. In this one I'm going to show you how to create a new composition. I'm just going to get straight into it so as not to waste time for all you lovely people out there. Okay, so straight off, this is the project panel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this to the side a little bit, and I'm going to drag in what I want to start my composition, so the ingredients. Now I'll just quickly show you what I've got already. I've got a video file and I've got an audio file, and I want to combine the two. So let me just show you the video file. This is actually something I made using completely Adobe After Effects, so you can just see it's just a quick kind of intro file with a bit of a graphics behind it. So this is the kind of thing you can achieve. So that's the video file, let's cross that off. And this is the audio file. I'll just play a few seconds of it. You can see it's much longer, this file. The video was about 2 seconds, and this audio file is about 1.5 minutes. So let's play that. Audio file. Cross that off. Okay, so to start the composition, what do I want to do? I want to put my ingredients in the project file. So let's just go ahead and drag both of those into there. Fantastic. Let's make this back big. Great. Done. Okay, so now that I've got them both in there, I want to create a new composition. So how can I do that? Well, what I tend to do is I just tend to drag in whatever I want. So both of these, I know I want them both combined. I drag them into this panel down here. But there are other ways which you should know about. So you can also go to composition. So this is way 1, new composition, and it'll bring up the window. Or you could go to this little icon here. I'll zoom in here so you can have a good look. Fabulous. And you can also, third way, is drag both of these or any of it into this bit here. So what I'll do, just for the sake of showing you my setup in terms of composition settings, is I'll click this and let you see. So you can see here the composition settings window comes up, and what you need to know is that you can rename it. So let's rename it. I'm going to rename it Fab because this is Fab. And then you can see my settings are width and height pixels. So you can see it's 1920 by 1080. That's a good one for YouTube videos. Just stick with that. That's what I tend to do. Square pixels, totally fine. Frames rate 30 frames per second. Fantastic. Resolution full. Start time code. Okay, you can see here my duration is 7 seconds and 19 frames. I should explain that actually. The first 3 sets of digits relate to time. The last 2 digits relate to the frames. So this is 7 seconds and 19 frames. If there was a number here, it would be the number of hours, minutes, seconds, frames. Blue background, that's what my new composition background is going to look like. I'm going to click OK. OK. So my new composition background is blue. What's happened? Things have changed up a little bit. You can see I've got a new element here with my new composition title, which is Fab, and I've also got a timeline here, and you can see it goes from 0 to 7.19. Now I've already mentioned that that is the frames, so you can see here I can move along my timeline. This lets me move along through the composition timeline, so I'll put that back at the beginning. Now what else you need to know? Essentially, sometimes when you're making composition you think, well, 7 seconds is a bit long, I actually want it to be shorter. The quick and easy way to fix that problem is to go to this section here, click on the composition again, the new one that you've made. So I'm going to click that, I'm going to right click it, sorry, and go to composition settings. Great. Now here I can change that down. So I'm going to say, well, I don't want 7 seconds, I want, let's say, 2 seconds, because my video is 2 seconds. So I'm going to say OK. So you can see straight away my timeline, it's all changed right down to 2 seconds. Now useful bit here is the zoom into the frame level, as it says. So if you wanted to get more detail between each frame, you could click this icon. You can see I'm getting each frame broken down even further, so I can make edits. Or if you want the whole picture, go back to the beginning, and I've got the whole 2 seconds. You can see that it ends at 2. So what else? I now want to start making my composition. So to do that, I'm going to drag, I still have to drag in what I want. So I'm going to drag in the video, and I'm going to drag in the audio. Lovely. So now that I've done that, you can see straight away I've got the video file, and this is demarked by this long block of colour, and you can see it finishes at 2 seconds, and it's kind of in the middle of 9 and 10. I don't know if it's 9 frames, but anyway, it's in the middle of it's there. You can see that that is a bit shorter than my actual audio file, which is a lot longer. So essentially, there'll be a point where actually I want to make this even shorter perhaps, and if I did, I would go back to this composition bit, right click it, composition settings, change it down to maybe 2 seconds and 10 frames, or 2 seconds and 9 frames, and see where that leads me. So it's pretty obvious how to change that up, which is very useful. So now when I drag my timeline, I can see I've now got something going on. Back to blue frame, so I just put it right back to the beginning. So that's very good. It lets you kind of get into certain aspects and edit it. Now you'll see this green line here. Now this green line is very useful. It tells you if you see little breaks in it, it means that it's not really ready for you to play it all through, because you've changed things up, and because of that it needs to kind of render it to allow you to play it. But we'll come into that. It's not really that important right now, but if you see it, you might find that your video doesn't play all the way through, but that doesn't mean that it won't once it's completely finished and rendered up. So in terms of the timeline, you're going to move across like this, but you can't hear any audio. So what do? Well, you go to the preview part, and in it there's this button on the right hand side, RAM preview. If you play that, you'll also hear the audio, so I'm going to play that now. Now you'll see it played it, the gaps in there have gone, and that's because when you saw it play it to begin with, it kind of ran through it really quickly and then it played it properly, and that's because it was trying to render it all. So once it's rendered, you're fine. Right, thanks for watching. The next tutorial will go into more detail on other aspects, for example how to move things in your timeline and how to understand a bit about how it all works. So please do subscribe if you like what you saw. If you think there's anything better I could do, please leave a comment, and check out my next video coming very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.